Dave Ramsey's craziest calls. Let's talk about it.
I messed up big. Went behind my wife's back, racked up $26K in credit card debt in 4 months. Pregnant wife, I should say, and now she's filing for divorce.
What did you jack up $26K on?
Pokemon cards. Trying to buy a bunch and then sell them online, which didn't work out.
Oh, okay. All right.
She's filing for divorce.
Yes, she already filed, and
sounds like things were pretty rocky before.
Yeah, it's not because of these Pokemon cards. That was just the final straw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct. We have 3 boys together, 2 to 5, and our first girl on the way. She's 15 weeks pregnant.
So what went on before this? What were the straws before this? How have you been behaving?
Angry, short, not pleasant at all to be around. To be honest.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
So let me ask you, if you were to put her shoes on for a minute, what do you think regarding this purchase that she's angry about?
The deceit, the betrayal.
Good. That's good self-awareness. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in our world, we call this financial infidelity because it's you busted the trust almost as if you slept with someone.
Yeah.
That's the way it feels. It's the same part of the brain that you damaged.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. And so that's why I pushed her over the top. And then, so the net of the thing is, have you been able to sell the Pokemon cards yet?
No, I'm going here in a few. I'm just getting everything together so I can take it to one of the local shops here in Salt Lake to sell and pay back some part of this debt.
What do you think they're going to bring?
I'll be lucky, honestly, if I probably get $5,000.
So how did you mess this up that bad? I'm confused.
Oh my goodness, $26,000 homeboy spent on Pokemon cards. And not even that, but went into debt for it. Okay, listen, I obviously love Pokemon. It's one thing my son and I really enjoy to do together. There's no way in hell I would ever even contemplate or think about going into debt for Pokemon cards, guys. Yes, the market has been insane over the past year or so. Absolutely. And what worries me even more, honestly, guys, is not just this guy, but a lot of the people that I see in the Pokemon card market. And I have a feeling, and I'm just waiting for something crazy to happen where this market's going to take a turn, it's going to dive, and people are going to get really, really hurt. But again, guys, I love Pokemon cards. I love them. I've been doing Pokemon since I've been 9 or 10 years old. It really is a blast. My son and I are actually working on completing our first ever master set. It's the Obsidian Flames master set, so we're pretty excited to get that done. But guys, never ever go into debt for Pokemon cards. And I'm seeing stuff right now where people are buying it and instantly thinking that the price is going to go up or double in price because that's what the market's been doing for the past 6 months, 8 months or so. But you can't do it. You still have to think smart, guys. This is your hard-earned money you're using.
And the second fastest growing addiction in America today is online gambling.
A lot of our debt stemmed from gambling addiction I had.
What'd the healing journey look like on the way out of that?
We had hit a pretty rough patch in our marriage. Finally opened up to his parents as we both kept it very hidden because we were a little ashamed.
Sure.
And so we basically had a little intervention for him.
2 years sober?
Yes.
Way to go, brother.
Hey,
way to go.
Congratulations, man.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
I wish you could see the way she's looking at you.
Yeah. So your family and your wife come at you, and you just said, okay, they're right.
Yep.
I mean,
time to change. Yeah. And that night, I worked third shift at the time, and I was, scrolling through there and came across Dave Ramsey, and I started listening that night and got hooked. And like everything you were saying was, slapping me.
Usually
in the
when
face.
people say you got hooked, it's a good thing. I'm not sure when you say that. I like you say that.
You're not gambling anymore?
No.
Totally clean?
Yes.
When you're talking about it, your body folds up with shame and guilt. Mm-hmm. And today you walk off that stage and you're going to leave that crap right there, right?
Yes, sir.
You're done with it?
Yes, sir.
You're announcing to everybody your sobriety, and we're proud of you.
Amen.
But I don't want you carrying that stuff around. I can see it on you.
Thank you.
Andrew and Courtney, $62,000 paid off in 22 months, making $85 to $95. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
All right, so it wasn't a Dave Ramsey call. It was a debt-free scream, but gosh dang it, I freaking love those. I love seeing those. Now, one thing I want to make a point on this is something that is very rapidly growing, especially in the younger generation I'm seeing too, is online gambling. And as easy as it is to access online gambling with the apps, and it's getting legalized across the United States and multiple different states, it's very, very scary because on a dime, guys, people can get lost in this addiction, and it is 100% an addiction. People can get lost in it and do some very, very bad things that can mess their family up financially, thinking that they're going to win their way through or win their losses back. If you're in deep over your head, now listen, I'll be the first one to say this, like, if you want to throw a couple bucks on a game, like, whatever, that's fine, like, have some fun, but make sure you're doing it within your means, right? You don't want to be overdoing where it's actually going to be hurting you if you lose this amount of money. I see nothing wrong with, a little bit of fun gambling every now and then, but when you're doing it where it's going to actually affect you financially, or you're missing a payment or a bill, or you're going into debt to gamble, you cannot do that, guys. Cannot do that. Now, this next one, just little warning here. This is pretty intense. You guys may have seen this one. This is one of his most popular videos. It's a little longer, but I wanted to watch the whole entire thing because it just really opens your eyes up of like what's going on out in this world, and you never know what's going on behind closed doors. It really is scary.
My son's father and I live together, and it's not the best situation. I'm just really torn because I love my home and I love my neighborhood, but I just want to be able to pay my debt off and provide better for my son.
Okay. So you own the home with your boyfriend, or?
No, sir. It's just me.
You own it?
Yes.
Okay. When is he leaving?
That's a great question.
Well, I'll give you the answer. Tonight. I can hear it. No, I can hear it in your voice. You sound really afraid to me.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to talk to you outside, and he's actually standing next to me because he can't go inside. Sir,
Yeah.
I have about $16,000 worth of debt. It includes a car, a credit card, some medical debt from the birth of our son that I get no help with.
Yeah.
My home, your ELT said that I could potentially walk away with about $88,000.
Yeah.
So I could reasonably pay all that off. I could set my son up and myself up in a nice townhome or a reasonable townhome in a nice area, good schools. I've thought all this out.
What is your income?
I just got a promotion at my job. I've been there about 10 years. I don't quite know what it works out to be, but it's $21 an hour. I believe it's like 44.
Okay. How old are you?
I'll be 32 this month, sir.
How old's your baby?
8 months.
Okay. I don't know if you need to sell your house or not. You may. That's possible. But that's not your problem today, is it?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have family in the area?
Okay. I do. My mom passed away about 2 years ago, unfortunately. So I still have my dad and brothers. And
you have dad. You have a father and brothers in the area.
Yes, sir. And my grandma and my aunt, who would have room for me and Charlie, my son.
Okay. You need to get in the car and go to your dad's house when you hang up the phone.
I can't do that, sir. I've tried that already.
Why can't you do that? Do I need to call the police for you?
No, sir. We've already gone through that.
Well, I'm about to go through it again. You have to,
Danielle, where are you, Danielle? Are you outside your house right now?
Yes, I am.
You are.
Okay. Do you have car keys?
Where's Charlie? Where's your son?
In his father's arms.
Okay.
In front of my car.
All right. You need to, when you hang up, you need to call the police and you need to call your father. And you need to get you and your son away from this guy. Do you hear me? This is not going to work otherwise, honey. This is not a house problem and it's not a debt problem. You and your son are in danger. So are you going to sit there in the middle of this sewage, or are you going to fix it?
I want to fix it. That's why I want to sell my home, and I just want to be done with everything.
Honey, we don't need to call a realtor. We need to get the boyfriend out of the house, and that's going to involve the police and or your father and your brothers. He needs to leave. It's your house. And you're afraid. You understand that this is wrong, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is you're not the crazy one. I'm talking to the sane one.
You know, a lot of times it feels like that.
Yeah, I know. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put you on hold, and Kelly is going to make sure that law enforcement gets over there, okay?
No, sir, please.
No, baby doll. I'm not going to be able, I'm not, listen, I love you and that baby. And we're not, do what?
Just needed to know if I should sell my house or not. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay, honey. You're in a
I
hole.
respect you, Mr. Ramsey. I'm sorry. I trust you.
Listen, easy, breathe. You're in a horrible situation, and you have to make the moves to get away from it. Okay? And part of the type of situation that you are in is that part of his psychological job is he has convinced you that you're not able to operate without him. And I'm convinced the only way you're ever going to be able to operate is without him. You are worth being okay. It's worth being okay for your kid. It's worth being okay. It's your freaking house. He's trespassing. We're going to remove the trespasser. It has to happen, okay? You have to get away from this guy. Anyone who calls a national radio show and is in this kind of distress tells me that there's serious stuff going on inside your walls. You need a boyfriend-ectomy.
Yeah, I've been needing that.
And it's happening today, darling. It's happening today.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Today.
And Danielle, if you feel like you and your son need to be somewhere safe, then I would get out of the house as well. Removing him may not.
Well, no,
but I mean, like,
after he's gone, you can make this determination
you may need to go
with
somewhere.
local law enforcement. But get a restraining order. You can do whatever you need to do at that point. But you and the baby need to get out of there until he's gone, and then you need to get someone to remove him. And it's that simple.
Sounds like dad and brother need to march their asses over there and have a little talk with boyfriend, if you know what I mean. Jeez almighty. Yo, when I first saw that clip, I couldn't help but think, like, the problem is that stuff happens all the time and none of us know about it. Like, ladies, if you're watching and you're going through something like this, you have to do what's best for you. And if you have kids, you have to do what's best for your kids. Get yourself out of that situation. Call local law enforcement, call family members, and figure out a way to get you out of that mess. Because that, as a father of a daughter, if I knew my daughter was going through something like that, first off, I'll say this. I got a shotgun and a shovel, and ain't nobody gonna miss the bastard. But second, I feel so sorry for her that she has to go through that. That's tough. Very tough.
I have currently about $430,000 in student loans.
Good Lord.
Yes, I was in medical school. I had failed 2 sets of boards after 3 years, and then was recently dismissed. And so about 80 of that, 80,000 is from undergrad, and then other courses later on to get into medical school, and the remainder is from medical school. But right now I have the debt, but no degree to, that I was planning to use to actually be able to pay that back. So at this point, I don't really know what my options are to try to dig out of this.
You're right. That's a mess. I'm so sorry. That's scary.
It is.
Yeah. How did you get that far into it and then not be able to pass the boards?
I actually did fairly well during the first 2 years, but it was just, I think, being able to, I guess it was one thing to take an exam every few weeks or every month, but being able to retain that and then to recall it to the level of detail that I needed for the exams. I just couldn't put it all together at the end.
Is there any way you can re-engage and still have a shot at finishing?
Not without having to reapply and then go through the process all over again. And also have to take out more loans.
So since then, what has been your plan?
Well, I've basically just been getting by. I was able to find a job, first of all, as a substitute teacher, and I was hired as a high school biology teacher. But my loans are on deferment right now, and I have some forbearance to go. But at this point, I'm not sure any of the other career options. I've thought about, physician assistant, other programs like that, but it requires going into more debt for me, because I'm not in a position where I could work and then pay as I go. Plus pay off the current, the loans I've got now too.
Yeah. So what would it take to be a PA from where you are?
I would have to take about another year of classes. I would have to take some other entrance classes, and then 2.5 years for the program itself.
Wow.
And then and that's probably at least another $60,000 to $70,000 in tuition and living expenses.
Well, I mean, the only thing I know to tell you is to try to assess some kind of a career, and that's what I'm poking at here. I don't know enough about that world to try to help you, but we obviously need to get to the point that we're making some good money to begin to pay this through, right? And so I want to lead you towards something that's 6 figures to try to plow through this with. And
the other issue, I mean, right now, I'm 34 years old, and so I have all this debt and I have an emergency fund, but no retirement savings, nothing at all. So I don't know.
Well, I'm not worried about that until we address your income. We got to address your career track, which gets you to your income, which solves the debt problem and then solves the retirement problem. I'm not in a panic about that today. I mean, if you were 66, I might be, but you're not. You got time to work through that. You've just got to reset here and land on your feet from a career standpoint.
Wow. See, that is the major problem with student loans, is you can take out all this debt with no guarantee of being able to pay it back. I mean, this is an excellent example about how he took a almost $500,000 in debt, and he couldn't pay the money back because you're not guaranteed that you're going to pass your exams. This is insane. The fact, one, that the man could even be approved for that amount of money, that's the problem. That's the other problem with student loans. That's the other side of the conversation, is there needs to be some reform on how student loans are just given out to these random kids, and they're stacking 6 figures worth of debt with no hopes of the future or no guarantee in the future of being able to pay that back. Absolutely insane. Crazy.
I am a stay-at-home mom of 2 young kids, and my husband is a business owner. I've been living with my head in the sand for the last couple of years as he's managed the money, and I've just recently discovered how poorly he's been doing that. We are in a world of debt right now and trying to find a path out of it.
Okay. So what caused you to suddenly become aware?
He called me one day and said, I'm going to tell you before you get home to see the mail today, but we got a foreclosure notice on our house.
Oh my gosh.
Which was due to a second mortgage he took out on our house in order to purchase a warehouse for his business. I naively thought, okay, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to cash out one of my 401ks, pay that off, get the house out of foreclosure, and then we're going to move forward and do everything right from here on out. That was very naive. As I started to dig deeper, I realized the trouble that the business was in. He has a huge overhead and is not making enough to sustain that.
How old are you guys?
I'm 39. He's 42.
How long have you been married?
6 years.
When was the phone call on the foreclosure notice to you?
Well, on the house or on?
Now, when
on
did
the
he
house,
call you? What day? How long ago did he call you and say?
Oh, this was back in May.
May. Okay, so you've been
Mhm.
you've been gathering more information, and you all have been having more discussions for a couple of months now.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So, what is he now saying?
He has a very motivated mindset, and he feels like he just needs to keep pushing forward with the business, and things are going to turn around any day, any week, and he's going to be able to fix all of this. Meanwhile, it feels as if things are not getting better. Things seem to be getting worse. Twice this month, he's not been able to make payroll for the employees. I've found out about some IRS debt, some property tax that's delinquent.
So why are you? Once you discovered one thing, why do you not have a conversation when the two of you sit down and he tells you everything? Why are you having to continue to pull the thread on the sweater?
Well, eventually he did. Once
Okay.
I found out about the IRS
So
debt.
we're all on the
What's
same
total?
page today.
What's the total debt, Katie?
Including mortgages,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
about $4.5 million.
Okay. And how much is the mortgage on your home?
Our mortgage is, we owe $480 on the house, plus the second mortgage, which is $400, so about $880.
Okay. What's
we
the
owe
house
on
worth? What's the house worth?
Probably 1.1.
Okay. What's the mortgage on the warehouse? Is there one?
The mortgage on the yes, there is. The mortgage on the warehouse, we owe about 3.3 on it, and the monthly payment on that is about $26,000.
And what's it worth?
It's worth 4.1, 4.2.
Okay. Is it on the market for sale?
Yes, I sat down with our
Good. It's on.
broker
Okay. So that's on
earlier
the
this
market. Is your
week,
home
and
on the market
yeah.
for sale?
No.
Okay. And so what other debt is there other than these two?
There's credit card debt, which totals about $120,000. There's a personal loan from my parents, which is $115,000. There is the property tax, which is about $100,000. There are our ridiculous cars, which are $140,000.
Are they on the market for sale?
No.
They need to be today.
And that, folks, is exactly why I preach talking about living a debt-free lifestyle. When you're debt-free, you don't have to worry about any of that, guys. Any of that. Now, listen, if you want to go grab a couple mortgages and buy a couple rental properties, as long as you're buying them right, you're analyzing the numbers, nothing wrong with that. I do that personally. But when you go and just get loads amount of debt, and there's chances that you're not going to be able to pay it back, you're taking out multiple, you're over leveraging yourself. It's very dangerous. That's a very slippery slope to be walking on, guys, and that's not a life that I want to live. It's not at all. Hopefully you guys learned something from today's video. And also a big shout out to Dave Ramsey. He's been around for years, and he's one of the first guys I ever stumbled upon years ago when I first got into this whole financial realm and started taking better control of my finances when I got out of college. So shout out to him, and love to see that guy killing it. He's a freaking legend.